My name is Dennis Msale for Cricket 360, and I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, at the U19 Men's Cricket World Cup Qualifier Africa Division. 6 teams are in this competition, and each one of them is battling for a spot to represent the rest of Africa at the U19 World Cup that will be hosted by Zimbabwe and Namibia next year. Of the 6 teams that are here, I could mention them: Namibia, Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, the hosts, Sierra Leone, and Kenya. 3 teams from East Africa. But Namibia are the defending champions for this tournament after winning it in Tanzania 2 years ago. After 3 days of action, things are starting to pan out, but not a bit different from what you would expect. Uganda have lost 2 games, 2 crucial games, and two teams that you feel are also favorites in this tournament. They've lost a game to their East African neighbors, Tanzania and Kenya. They'll be looking, maybe their focus now has changed from qualifying for the World Cup, but just trying to make sure they stay in the division. Of the 6 teams, the winner takes all. They will represent the rest of Africa at the World Cup. The top 3 teams will stay in this Division 1, and the bottom 3 will have to drop down to the 2nd division. So there's everything to play for all the teams. And Namibia and Tanzania have put their hands up already, and they're looking like the front runners, as well as Kenya. All those 3 teams have each one of them won 2 games. Namibia had a starter in their first game of the tournament, but they somehow managed to come back and defeat the host Nigeria, and then they followed it up with a win against Sierra Leone. Kenya started off with a good win against Sierra Leone, followed it up with another good win against their neighbors Uganda, while Tanzania have sort of gone through their difficult fixture. They defeated the host Nigeria by a big margin, bowling them out for only 32, but also had a very good big win against the Ugandans, 73 runs win against their fellow East Africans, Uganda. So it's looking very, very good for the top 3 teams. And then for the other 3 teams, now the battle is on for them to try and make sure that they can push for a place and remain in this division. Sierra Leone, Uganda, and Nigeria, all of them yet to win a game. Uganda will be in action against Sierra Leone tomorrow. The last time the 2 met each other in Tanzania, Sierra Leone got the better of Uganda by winning 1 run. Uganda would like to correct that small, sort of history against Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, there's a big game tomorrow as well on match day number 4. You sort of call it moving day, where the 2 unbeaten teams, Namibia and Tanzania, will be facing up at the TBS Oval. That should also be an interesting clash. But as things are, after 3 days of action, Namibia, Tanzania, and Kenya are in the driving seat to win that 1 spot to go and represent the rest of Africa at the World Cup that will be co-hosted by Zimbabwe and Namibia next year. Should be very interesting. But for Uganda, who came here in this tournament with high hopes and also hopes of being one of the teams that will push for a place at the World Cup, they are chasing after the top 3, and for them to remain in this particular division is going to be very, very important, especially for their as they try and look ahead, and of course they look to the future. But Nigeria, as usual, has been serving some very good sauce. The food is hot as usual. There's pepe, but I'll tell you, Nigeria is always a lovely place to visit. The games are being played at the TBS Oval and the University of Lagos ground, where we are actually right now. Sort of a different, I've never been to this venue before, but just a very, very lovely facility. The outfield looks very, very good. Sort of similar to what we saw at the Achimota ground in Ghana, but it's also very, very good ground. Kudos to the Nigeria Cricket Federation putting it together and hosting, of course, and the weather has also been touch hot, but also very, very friendly to the team. Sometimes being very, very hot, especially on match day number 2. You sort of felt for the teams that are out there in the field. But again, if there's no rain, I think it's always a good time to play cricket. Stay tuned, keep following us on Cricket 360. We'll be giving you all the updates, and we will let you know which team has progressed to move on to the next round, to move on to the World Cup that will be hosted next year by Zimbabwe and Namibia.